The dramatic escape of more than 30 foreigners from an alleged human trafficking ring in Johannesburg is changing the name of Santon Drive to that of a Palestinian activist worth the political spat it'll unleash here and abroad. And Wookie, blue cheese or Gouda? We're celebrating why 20 million South Africans buy cheese every week. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent.
More than 30 foreign nationals suspected of being victims of a human trafficking syndicate have escaped from a property in Lombardy, East Johannesburg. Private security was called to the scene after neighbours saw the group running into the streets. The suspects are believed to be of Somalian and Ethiopian descent, among others.
The Ethiopian nationals are currently being kept at the Sandringham police station, where an interpreter has offered police some information of what they're dealing with. According to Adise Jausa, who spoke to the alleged human trafficking victims, the suspected captors attempted to extort money from their families, who some have left behind in the Horn of Africa.
So I asked them how they are demand the money by the phone and WhatsApp, everything. They demand family from the extorting the money to kidnap the human trafficking.
This is not an isolated incident. As Jausa says, he's been called to the Sandringham police station on multiple occasions in similar situations. This a cause for concern for police, as spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Mavelo Masondo explains.
So it is a concern for us as the police that there are people that are being brought to our country against their will.
Zolega Kotashe, Eyewitness News, Sandringham Police Station in Johannesburg.
Weeping for the loss of loved ones and people who were killed while protecting them, the Soshanguve community has been remembering the 6 community safety patrollers in the Marry Me informal settlement who were stoned and shot dead on Saturday.
I promised you that within 72 hours, they can run, they can hide, they can go to the Inyanga, they can go wherever, they can go under the world. We will get them. I'm proud to report to you, of the 5, we've got the 3 already.
2 suspects arrested in connection with the deaths have appeared in the Pretoria North Magistrates Court. The court ordered that no pictures of the accused be taken pending their identity parade. The men aged 27 and 50 appeared separately as they have not yet been charged with Saturday's murder.
2 men appeared separately here at the Pretoria North Magistrates Court following the brutal attack of community patrollers in Soshanguve at the weekend. The men could not be seen by the public, and the court sitting was held in camera as they are yet to be taken through an identity parade. A 27-year-old man and a 50-year-old man were arrested on Monday, allegedly in possession of ammunition as well as illegal firearms. The 27-year-old is also facing a charge of contravening the Immigration Act by being in the country illegally.
The 2 accused persons are not linked to the killing that happened at the Soshanguve informal settlement. However, if investigations link them to that offense, then those charges will be added.
The men will be taken through an identity parade and they will return to this court on the 1st of April. Khomotsomodise, Eyewitness News in Pretoria North.
If they're positively identified, they will be prosecuted jointly and formally charged with murder. Joburg Mayor Dada Morero has denied paying influencers to promote the city following a series of tweets praising his government. Last week, pro-Johannesburg tweets filled the timeline with the hashtag Joburg Service Delivery.
So this matter, that has never been an instruction from me, Alpha, around the issue of influencers. As I made it clear that I've never made any instruction of that matter, and I want to assure our residents of Johannesburg that I do have a communications team that has been doing their work, and that communications team, I believe they've not hired any form of influencers whatsoever to hype our activities. But we are also aware that there are media houses who are very invested in the story. But what I can assure the residents is that this was never done by my office.
Morero also warned political parties to practice diplomatic sensitivity when raising frustrations over the proposed renaming of Santon Drive. The bid to rename the road to Leila Khaled Drive is currently in the consultation process. The final decision has yet to be made. With the American embassy located on Santon Drive, there are concerns that renaming it after the Palestinian struggle icon will worsen diplomatic tensions with the US.
On the renaming of Santon Drive, Pule, the City of Johannesburg reaffirms its commitment to diplomatic sensitivity in the Santon Drive renaming process. The City of Johannesburg acknowledges public discourse regarding the proposed renaming of Santon Drive and emphasizes its dedication to a thorough, considered approach. It is also important to note that this resolution was arrived at in 2018 at the point where the Democratic Alliance was in government.
Kidnapping and human trafficking accused Kelly Smith has blamed the state's main witness in the Jocelyn Smith trial of being the mastermind behind the girl's disappearance. Smith's attorney today told the court his client believes former accused turned state witness Laurentia Lombard is protecting herself and her boyfriend Ayanda Letoni.
Kelly Smith's lawyer, Ranesh Sivnarayan, told the court Smith denies everything about former accused and state witness Laurentia Lombard's testimony that relates to the charges she faces. Lombard previously testified she witnessed Smith sell Jocelyn to a Sangoma for 20,000 rand before offering the accused money to keep quiet. The attorney told the court Smith believes Lombard testified against the accused to protect herself and her boyfriend, Ayanda Letoni. Sivnarayan told Lombard she was the last person seen with Jocelyn on the day the child went missing, and when Smith came to look for Jocelyn at Lombard's shack, Letoni could not account for Lombard's whereabouts. Lombard admits she took Jocelyn to make a sandwich but later returned the child to Smith's shack. Sivnarayan says Smith believes one of the reasons why Letoni left Saldanha Bay a few days after Jocelyn went missing was because Letoni was involved in a disappearance. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News, Western Cape High Court in Saldanha Bay.
The National Student Financial Aid Scheme has committed to paying student accommodation providers by the 4th of April. Students are reportedly being threatened with evictions from their accommodation as a result of non-payment. NSFAS attributed payment delays to its accommodation providers and student verification before processing payments. Officials say during checks they identified ghost students who were neither funded by NSFAS nor enrolled in any public institution or college. NSFAS says the non-compliant accommodation providers who stood to unlawfully benefit from funds intended for legitimate NSFAS-funded students will be investigated.
At this point, NSFAS is adhering to the payment dates of April the 4th, 2025. However, we are continuously assessing our internal processes and the situation surrounding the payments. Should it become possible to expedite this payment date, we will promptly communicate any changes with all stakeholders, including accommodation providers and students.
The DA in the Western Cape has welcomed 49 religious leaders who were members of various opposition political parties in the province. The faith-based leaders, including former African Christian Democratic Party Provincial Executive Committee members, were unveiled at a press briefing in Cape Town today. Former ACDP Western Cape elections manager Apostle Elbury Jacobs, who served as the party's provincial elections manager, is one of the religious leaders who've crossed the floor to the DA today.
I saw that the space that the DA is creating for us as pastors and leaders in the community is of that of fostering and building a bridge to able to help better support our communities, assist us in what is needed.
Bafana took a step closer to qualifying for their first FIFA World Cup since 2010 by beating Benin 2-0 in a qualifier in Abidjan on Tuesday night.
First half, Benin could do something, but the second half, I think with the weather very hot, they were tired at a certain moment, and for us it started to be more easy. I said on the bench, if we score once, we will win the game. Benin was not capable to do something except the little chance they have the first half. A part of that, I think that we dominated the game, and we deserve to win that.
Only the group winners will qualify for next year's tournament, which will be co-hosted by Canada, Mexico and the United States. So there's cheese that's been around for decades and new delicious ones we suspect on the way. We like it here a lot in South Africa. 20 million of us buy it every week.
I'm sure it's possible, just like wine. You can mix in a number of different varietals and different processes and come up with anything you want. I mean, one of my favorite cheeses is mascarpone, and I love what Woolies does there, where they can put in fruits and nuts and it's not changing the cheese, but bringing it to a new sort of consumption area.
We shall see for more tomorrow. Don't forget to download the EWN app.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.